Oh, hey, didn't see you there. This is the full card predictions for UFC Perth. The UFC is coming back down under to Western Australia, Perth. In hindsight, we have some pretty good fights here, ladies and gentlemen. If you've been following maybe like combat sports in the last couple of years, only a few years, yeah, these names might not stand out too much, but I truly believe that there is some good bangers on here, good bangers. Probably not the best, but we have Carlos Ulberg and Dominick Reyes, Jimmy Crute coming and trying to make a second win after leaving the UFC. Jack Jenkins is always good to watch. We have the Telfer brothers, although one of the Telfer brothers did pull out due to an injury, I think today or something, not good. And he's probably the better one too, Junior Telfer. So that's not a good look for Justin Telfer. We have Andre Petroski. He's all right to watch, man. Jamie Larkey, he's okay. It's okay. Oban Elliott, he did get a loss his last fight, but nevertheless, let's get into it. So this is the full card predictions. First fight on the night, we have in the welterweight division, we have Jonathan Metcalf taking on Oban Elliott. Jonathan Metcalf, he's 8-1. He's 26 years old. He's 6 foot tall. He's got a 77-inch reach. On the other hand, we have Oban Elliott. He's 12-3, hailing from Wales. He's 27. He's got that 5-inch disadvantage in reach, but I don't know, man. I feel like I'm going to call bullshit maybe on this because I feel like Oban Elliott he is long, man. He's long, and he's got good striking, good leg kicks. He likes to push the pressure, okay? He likes to push the pressure in moments. Jonathan Metcalf, hang on, before I even get any further, my last card, right? 9 wins, 4 losses. Not that bad, not that good. I don't know, it's not that bad. I think half of them were fucking dogs, man. But I went okay in the last card at UFC Noche. But let's get this card fucking banging. Jonathan Metcalf, he's all right, man. I just feel like in this matchup right now, he's taken a step up. And I think in hindsight, he's taken a step up here because he did his last fight take on Kevin Jusay, to a decision. He looked great. And Kevin Jusay is, a kickboxer by trade. It was in France, it was kind of like swaying towards Kevin Jusay with the crowd and everything. And obviously Kevin Jusay is not in the UFC anymore, but I feel like Oban Elliott can bring a little bit more to the table than a Kevin Jusay, man. I don't know. I feel like an Oban Elliott could fucking destroy a Kevin Jusay, in my opinion. And in this matchup, man, I've got Oban Elliott, man. And I think he's going to take out a Jonathan Metcalf. So give me Oban Elliott by any means necessary. Moving on up the card, we have a middleweight bout. Andre Petroski taking on Cam Roston. We saw Cam Roston. He went well. He did do pretty good in the Contender Series. He got his fucking KO, stoppage win. He's 12-3. He's fighting out of Sydney. He's 30 years old. He's got a 75-inch reach and he's fighting out of City Kickboxing, right? The point is though, he had his moment in the Contender Series. I remember watching this, and it was against Taurus Feeney. Taurus Feeney, in my opinion, he's not good. Okay, he's not good. You're sitting there watching Terrence Feeney, and you're just sitting there going, "What are you doing? And what are you doing to train?" You're just sitting there holding. And yes, he held down Cam Roston for most of the fight, whatever. But it's clear as day what that guy's going to do. And Cam Roston came in and just shut the bed, man. And I feel like a Taurus Feeney is not going to go far in the UFC. I'm sorry to say. He's really, really fucking short and wide. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, we have an Andre Petroski. He's an absolute specimen on the ground, okay? And he's 13-4. He's 34 years old, yes. I would say maybe around this kind of weight class, 32 is your prime. He's only 2 years over that, man. It's not that bad. He's got a 73-inch reach. Yeah, he's fighting out of Renzo Gracie, Philadelphia, and there's some beasts that come out of there, man. I don't know. And he's got another boy on here, Charlie Campbell, So they're going to go out there. And I feel like a Cam Roaston is going to be an absolute he's not going to know what to do if it hits the mat. I feel like a Cam Roaston is going to be in all sorts of trouble. Andre Petroski, he came in with an aura, and it's just like, he's leveled out. He's kind of an average UFC fighter, but he's still got potential there, And a Cam Roaston, I feel like this might be a little bit too much. So give me an Andre Petroski by submission. Moving on up the card, we have a Brando Perikic taking on Alicia. Oh, well, I looked at this. I thought it was like a fucking woman. Alicia Ellison. Now, I don't really know too much about these guys. It's in the heavyweight division. Brando's 4-1. Elisha, whatever the fuck. He's 5-1. Ellison is like jiu-jitsu, apparently. Brando, more wrestling background. So, you know what? I'm going to go with the position over submission, and I'm going to go Brando by any means necessary. It could be a boring one. You know what I mean? But they do finish people. They do finish each other. Like, they finish their opponents. So, let's just say Brando Perikic by finish. Probably a fucking stoppage on the ground, TKO. Moving on. Off the card, we have Jamie Mullarkey taking on Rolando Bedoya in the lightweight division. Jamie Mullarkey is 17-8. He's fighting out of Central Coast, so, he's got some sort of connections with Volk and fucking JDM, whatever, they all fucking... He's got a 74-inch reach. He's very good on the feet, man. He's got good boxing, man. He's got good boxing, as like Aussies do, man. We've got boxing, you know what I mean? But, obviously we don't have that wrestling background, but, it's good internationally. But then again, he's got some good fucking good hands. On the other hand, we have a Rolando Bedoya. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. He's fighting out of Peru. He's 28. He's got a 75-inch reach, so he's got about a reach. He's got a 1-inch reach advantage. Like, it's even going to fucking make a difference. I think Jamie Mullarkey can piece him on the feet. Rolando Bedoya is he's very good on the ground. If Jamie Mullarkey lets him get to the ground, or just lets it get to the ground, he'll be in some trouble. Because we've seen Jamie Mullarkey gets fucking choked out before, man. But I think that Jamie Mullarkey, he does fight very well in Australia. He fights very well in his home country. And I think that a Jamie Mullarkey can get a very good decision win here, and Rolando Bedoya is going to get the fucking snip from the UFC. So give me Jamie Mullarkey by decision. Moving on up the card, we have, in the bantamweight division, two ladies going at it. We have Luana Carolina taking on Michelle Montag. So Michelle is 6-0. She's undefeated. She's 31. She's coming down in weight, and obviously, Luana Carolina is coming up in weight. So this is in bantamweight division. Michelle's fighting out of New Zealand. She's on the side of American Top Team. That's a good team. That's a good team to fucking be around, She's got a 69-inch reach. And on the other hand, we have Luana Carolina. She's a very all-round kind of girl, She's fighting out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. She's 32. She's 69-inch reach. So the reach will be the same. We've seen Luana Carolina. She got smoked by Molly McCann by a spinning back elbow in the third round. I had that. I actually called that before, doing all this YouTube stuff, videos. But, she's going on a little tear. She lost the decision to Joanna Lewood. And then she's gone on a 3-fight win streak. Ivana, she's okay. Julia Storienko. Pardon my French if I can't say these fucking bullshit names. It's honestly, man, what's wrong with fucking, Steve and fucking Jan? You know what I mean? Just standard names, man. Nah, I'm just joking. It's beautiful names. Anyway, she's 11-4, she's pretty cookie cutter, fighter. She's very long. But, on the other hand, we've had an Aussie, and sometimes you do know what the UFC is doing, man. They're giving them good matchups, man. They want undefeated fighters on the roster, So I'm going to go with Michelle Montag, and I feel like she can get a finish here. She's going to be the bigger girl. There's lighter woman's skill here, but I feel like a Montague, she'll have a little bit more grit to her, man. So I'm going to get Michelle by finish over Luana Carolina. Moving on. Up the card, we have Colby Thickness taking on in the bantamweight division, Josiah Musasa, right? In the bantamweight division, Colby Thickness gave Alexandre Topuria, Ili Topuria's brother, a really good fight to a decision. And that was his debut, man. Like, that was his debut. We've seen people have really hard debuts, lose on decision, and go on a fucking tear. You know what I mean? 5-6 win streaks, fucking 4 win streaks, you know what I mean? And I think this is going to duplicate that. Like, Colby Thickness is good, man. Like, he's good all around, eh? And he's an absolute specimen on the ground. Josiah Musasa, he's 8-1. He's 26 years old, and he's got a 74-inch reach, so he's going to have a 5-inch reach advantage here. But in this fight here, I truly believe that Colby Thickness, coming off a decision loss to Alexandre Topuria, where, you know, Topuria brothers, man, with that Greco-Roman wrestling background, you know, he's kind of just gone out there and he's kind of a little bit leveled up, even though he's lost, man. Like, every fight, you learn something, you know, whether you lose or win. And I really truly believe that Colby Thickness is going to go out here, man, take Josiah Musasa down and strangle him or TKO him, man. Like, it's going to the ground. Like, Colby Thickness, man, he's a beast on the ground, man. So give me Colby Thickness by TKO or sub, man, on the ground. Oh, I'll go submission. Moving on up the card, we have Navajo Sterling taking on Rodolfo Bellato in the light heavyweight division. Rodolfo Bellato, obviously, his last fight, if you didn't see it, Paul Craig did an upkick, and he ended up spazzing out, man. Like, I think he freaked out. I think he actually freaked out and realized, oh shit, Paul Craig actually really trained for this fight, man. Like, and that just showed levels. Like, we've seen Paul Craig go on a skid and he's losing, but what does that say to Rodolfo Bellato? Like, every gym has those at least one or two guys that are just like, you know, like you kind of just like, you'll do good, man. Like, yeah, like, you know, and they'll, you know, like Blood Diamond, you know what I mean? Like, just off the top of my head, you know, like, it's like, that's their Andreas Gustafsson, you know what I mean? He's going to be the new one. Everyone's hyping him up. I'm the only guy on the fucking internet that picked fucking anyway, Jesus. But I think Rodolfo Bellato is that kind of guy, man. Like, you know, out of his gym, he's like that guy that you kind of encourage. Yeah, man, like, you can do good, man, you know, like, and he can, but there's levels. You know what I mean? There's fucking levels, and he's taken on an absolute specimen kickboxer coming out of City Kickboxing in Navajo Sterling, and he's 7-0. And Sterling's due for a fucking KO win, man. He's due for a stoppage. Very good striking, crisp and clean, you know what I mean? And he's an absolute specimen, dude. So, and I'm not glazing him. Like, I really truly believe, like, this guy, he's not going to be like this fucking marauder in the UFC, taking out everyone, obviously, clearly, like, you know. But with growth, Navajo Sterling, he's still got a lot to learn, you know what I mean? And I feel like there's a lot of growth there. Rodolfo Bellato, I feel like he's just like, it's just him. There's not really much. There's nothing really for him to like he can get a little bit better, but Navajo Sterling's got a little bit more to climb up the ladder here, like in skill set. So give me Navajo Sterling by first or second round KO. And to note, I reckon the UFC is fucking punishing Rodolfo Bellato with this matchup. Anyway, then a side note, a little intermission. People fucking shit on fucking cards, right? But they don't actually understand. They're sitting there and they're doing all this fucking producing out of their own fucking bedroom, house, whatever the fuck. And people don't realize that, you know, there is a pool of people or fighters that they actually fucking ask to fight on the fucking cards around the world, right? And if one fighter goes, nah, I'm not fighting there, that does not mean that the UFC is putting down shit cards or like, you know, oh, like, look at this shit card, look at this fucking card. Why is there all this guys on? Because obviously the other fucking 60% of these fighters that got asked to fight don't want to fight, you know what I mean? Or aren't ready to fight, or they're just not, they're just, you know, they're not ready. You know what I mean? You're not always ready. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that they want to maybe work on. Maybe, like, they want to just do a little bit more training. You know what I mean? Like, the UFC always wants to do these beast-ass fucking cards. But obviously, it's up to the fighters to fucking say yes, to fight on these cards, to make the fucking cards. You know what I mean? But when there's a UFC, like, 300, yeah, they all want to fucking go on that card, clearly, because it's a fucking named card. Anyway, it's like got that fucking 300 number bullshit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, don't fucking get all this fucking bullshit about how, like, you know, it's up to the fighters. And, you know, if they don't want, if 60% of them that got asked to fight on the card say no, well, then fuck, man. We're just going to have to watch fucking Luma Lukbumi taking on Alexa Thayonara. You know what I mean? In the prelims. It's actually the fucking featured fight of the prelims. See what I mean? Anyway, it's in the strawweight division. I'm sick of dicking around, man. Alexa Thayonara is going to probably choke out Luma Ligbuma. Moving on. I've got Alexa Thayonara by submission. Moving on up the card to the main card, we have Tom Nolan taking on Charlie Campbell. Charlie Campbell obviously coming out of, Longo's gym out in New York. And, well, I thought Andre Petroski, they must know each other. Anyway, this is in the lightweight division. He's got a 72-inch reach. Charlie Campbell's a beast, man. He's all round. He's got good fucking boxing, bro. Like, he's got good boxing. You know what I mean? I think Tom Nolan's in trouble. But we've got Tom Nolan on the other hand. He's 9-1. He's 25 years old. So, you know, Charlie Campbell's got that 5-year, difference. And yes, you know, the male brain doesn't develop until you're 25. Tom Nolan's he's turning 26 in 6 months, right? On the other hand, Charlie Campbell, he's 30 years old. He's got that 5-year, life experience. You know what I mean? But you know, Tom Nolan's got a half-inch reach advantage. Really not that big of a deal. He's 6'3" in height, but on the other hand, Charlie Campbell's 6 foot. So you do the math. So clearly, Charlie Campbell's got obviously a longer striking game for his height. He's got nice boxing, man. Come on. And he's actually got a really good ground game, eh? Like, Charlie Campbell's going to give Tom Nolan problems here, ladies and gentlemen. And I've got Charlie Campbell by any means necessary, win by any means necessary. Moving on up the card, we have Jake Matthews taking on Neil Magny in the welterweight division. Jake Matthews has been surging. He's had some good wins, man. Like, he submitted Chidi Nkuchukwani. Before that, he took out a Prado on decision. And Phil Rowe. Phil Rowe's, he's not too, we thought Phil Rowe was going to be a little bit better, but, he's 22 wins, 7 losses, fighting out of Melbourne. He's 7 foot, he's 7 foot. He's 5 foot, 11 inches. He's got a 73-inch reach, as opposed to a Neil Magny got an 80-inch reach advantage, standing at 6'3". And Neil Magny's 38 years old, so yeah, he's getting up there in age, man. Like, when you see him start to get about 38, 39, 40, like, not everyone can carry that kind of genetics. I mean, some people can. Edison Barboza can. Maybe not in his last fight, but he can. Neil Magny can, man. That was 4 fights ago. Jesus. He took out a Mike Millard. I thought that was fucking last month. You know what I mean? I can't believe he took out Mike Millard in the 3rd round. What was it? In the ground and pound? That's hilarious. Mike Millard busted his nut, In another dimension, Mike Millard probably would have gone out there and smoked him, but not in this one. Neil Magny's 30 wins, 13 losses. He's the clear-cut UFC veteran here. But on the other hand, Jake Matthews, I think he's a future UFC veteran. Came in really young in the UFC, and I think Jake Matthews can get a good win here, man. I'm kind of speculating if he can finish a Neil Magny, like you would want him to, like with the kind of like the kind of like the way he's been going, you would expect him to get the win by finish because he's been looking better. He's been looking better over time. But, at the end of the day, I'm going to have to do a little bit more tape. I've got Jake Matthews by any means necessary. Winning by any means necessary, Jake Matthews, the Celtic kid. Moving on up the card, we have a Jake Jenkins taking on a Roman Tavares. Roman Tavares, when I first saw him, like whenever he fought, I think it was like City. City. So when I kind of like noticed him when he fought City, he looked okay. He looked all right, He looked okay. City obviously, straight right TKO'd him, but he looked fine. He looked okay. But Jack Jenkins is a beast, man. And the thing is, with this fight, it's the fucking calf kicks, man. Like, a Roman Tavares, he's so acceptable to the low kicks. Like Jack Jenkins is going to rip him up. Jack Jenkins, 13-4, fighting out of Victoria. He's 31 years old. He's got a 68 reach advantage, so he's got a 2-inch disadvantage in reach to Roman Tavares. Roman Tavares got a 70-inch reach. But I just think that Jake Jenkins is going to get a fucking TKO here, man. If you're getting TKO'd by City, that's right. Okay, so yeah, and then he obviously won against City in a decision too. But Jake Jenkins, he's an absolute fucking specimen on the feet, and I think he's got a little bit of a good fucking takedown defense. So give me Jack Jenkins by TKO or KO. But I really truly believe Jack Jenkins is going to give Roman Tavares problems on the feet, especially with his hands and, with the calf kicks. So I got Jack Jenkins by TKO or KO. Moving on up the card, we have, see, the third last fight, man. You know what I mean? Like, this is what it is, but not many people, like, the higher you go up in the card, man, the more pressure it is, you know what I mean? We have a heavyweight fight here, ladies and gentlemen, against Justin Tafa and Louis Sutherland. Louis Sutherland's he looks like a little Hulk. He's like a little Hulk, but on the other hand, we have Justin Tafa, and Justin Tafa looks like he eats too much beef brisket. You know what I mean? He's got that beef brisket body. Like, he just looks like beef brisket, man. Like, I don't know, and like, what are you doing? Like, and he's fighting out of Marsden Logan, and I know that. He's fighting out of Marsden Logan, driving around in his fucking black fucking full drug, whatever the fuck, Anyway, he's 31 years old, Justin Tafa. He's 74-inch reach. He's 6 feet in height. 6 foot in height. But, Justin Tafa, the one good thing he has in this fight is like he's got the double jab and the straight right. Double jab, straight right. If he can utilize this in this fight against Louis Sutherland, it's going to be a problem. Or the body head bang overhand right. Jab to the body, kind of dip up, jab to the head, bang overhand right, bang, bang, bang. You know what I mean? But Louis Sutherland, he's a little Hulk, and I don't know how long Justin Tafa can actually last after fucking 2 minutes against this guy, man. And I feel like there's a reason why they're putting this as the third last fight on the card, you know what I mean, under the co-main. I don't want to say it, man, because it sucks. I want to see Justin Tafa fucking win. It's kind of a bit weird. We've got a weird one here, ladies and gentlemen. But I think Louis Sutherland's going to come out here. He's going to be so pumped and hyped, and I've seen tape on him. He's just like that kind of guy, man, He's 10-3. He's got the 2-inch reach advantage here. He's 6-3. He's 6-3 in height. I reckon Louis Sutherland's going to get a TKO victory over Justin Tafa. So I got Louis Sutherland by TKO over Justin Tafa. Don't really want to see it, but that's my prediction. My heart says otherwise in my predictions. These are my predictions by the way it's just logic, the way you watch and everything, you know what I mean? But heart says different, My co-main event, we have a UFC light heavyweight division against a light heavyweight fight in Jimmy Crute, taking on Ivan Erslan. Ivan Erslan sucks. I'm going to say it out right now. He sucks. He's like a fucking potato. Yeah, he's like fucking, he's like good, he's got good genetics, you know what I mean? Don't get it twisted, he's got good genetics. He's a goddamn fucking potato, man. Like, what are you doing in the second round, dude? You're like so one-dimensional. You're throwing literally like one fucking overhand right. And it's not even fast or crisp or anything. It's just sloppy as fuck. He's 14-5. He's 33 years old, fighting out of Croatia. He's fighting out of American Top Team in Zagreb, wherever the F that is. He's got a 72.5-inch reach. On the other hand, we have a Jimmy Crute. He did end up he retired out of the UFC, as I think, as I can recall. And then we retired, come back, and it's all about the mental game with Jimmy Crute, man. Maybe he said his mental game's being he probably wasn't enjoying it. You know what I mean? He just probably thought it was just, by the time you end up getting into something and it's just a job, it just feels like a job. But at the end of the day, Jimmy Crute's turned that around. He's turned his mental game around and he's starting to enjoy it again. I think he's starting to just realize that, you go from work and then you go home and you're in two different worlds. You never fucking go either way. You never take your fucking home shit to work and you never take your fucking work shit to home. You know what I mean? You have to have those two worlds, man, because that's where rest is very important. You know what I mean? Rest is very important. Jimmy Crute probably ended up realizing, fuck me, this is I can't rest. You know what I mean? And he took that mental break. And I reckon this is going to do very well with Jimmy Crute here in this matchup. And the UFC know what they're doing, man. They're putting this in the co-main too. They know Jimmy Crute's going to come out there. And Jimmy Crute has a following, man, He's an absolute specimen on the ground. And Ivan Ursulin is an absolute fucking potato, Who is this guy? You know what I mean? Give me Jimmy Crute by fucking submission or TKO, ground and pound. Club and sub. So give me Jimmy Crute by domination. Or it could go to the decision, but, whatever. Jimmy Crute by finish. Moving to the main event of the evening, we have Carlos Ulberg taking on Dominick Reyes. Carlos Ulberg, man, he's had one KO loss. And I think it was in the Contender Series, as I can fucking remember. He's fighting out at City Kickboxing. He's very long, man. He's got he's good kickboxing. He's very, very good textbook kickboxing. He likes to kind of just wait. And I think that might play a factor in this fight here. He's too much waiting. That's one thing. And secondly, it's a 5-round fight. You know what I mean? We haven't seen Carlos Ulberg go 5 rounds yet, And I don't see him taking out a Dominick Reyes. If John Jones couldn't take out fucking Dominick Reyes, I don't think Carlos Ulberg's going to take out fucking Dominick Reyes. Carlos Ulberg's a beast. Don't get me wrong, and he's good. I don't see him getting the UFC belt. But a fucking Yuri Prohaska would fucking, I don't know, man. With his new head movement, fucking moving his head and fucking actually realizing he needs to fucking progress in his game, probably could take out a Carlos Ulberg. You know what I mean? Carlos Ulberg's good, man. He just shines when someone like Alonzo Menafield fucking moves a fucking with his forehead first for the first 8 seconds of the fight and gets fucking a left hand to the chin of doom, a left hand of doom to the chin. That's the only time Carlos Ulberg fucking shines, man. And I truly believe that Dominick Reyes isn't going to be that fucking stupid, Dominick Reyes isn't that fucking retarded. He's not that retarded to fucking move forward with his forehead and just ask for the left hand of doom. You know what I mean? But, on the other hand, we have Dominick Reyes, and he's 15-4. He's 35 years old. He's 6 foot 4 inches tall, and he's got a 77-inch reach. Both these boys have the same inch reach advantage at 77 inches reach. He's fighting out of Elevation Fight Team. And Dominick Reyes has been looking good, man. I remember this, and I called it, you know what I mean? Second round, spinning fucking back elbow by Yuri Prohaska. That was insane. I actually had that, you know what I mean? I had the fucking 7-leg multi, you know what I mean? It was on the last leg, and it was a fucking second round fucking KO for fucking Yuri Prohaska on the 7th leg, and I had 6 legs fucking boom, green. The last leg was second round KO for Yuri Prohaska, and he did it. You know what I mean? That was insane because he was just weird, and he's like that traditional mixed martial artist. He's like a Tekken guy, you know what I mean? He's like a fucking Street Fighter dude. And then he took a KO loss to Ryan Spann. And then after that, he's gone on a little tear in the last year and 3 months. He TKO'd Justin Jacoby, TKO'd Anthony Smith, and he TKO'd Nikita Krylov. Now, we end up like this in this fight right now. My belief is either Dominick Reyes by decision. I reckon Carlos Ulberg is going to end up maybe taking maybe 1 or 2 rounds, and then Dominick Reyes, with his UFC veteran experience, he went 5 rounds with John Jones, man. Like my heart does say Carlos Ulberg because the Anzacs, baby, let's go. But New Zealand and Australia, but like I don't know, man. Like Carlos, if Carlos Ulberg comes out to this fight and has showed me something different that I haven't seen, that's not waiting, and he goes out there and like starts putting on the pressure, like actually putting on the pressure, not just waiting to counter and then waiting even more. Dominick Reyes is going to put on him, man. He's going to test him. That's for sure. But anyway, so I've got Dominick Reyes by decision. And I'm going to close out this video by saying, if you've made it this far, maybe the 19 people watching or whatever, like I'm gonna make a video to the world, so, maybe in the next whatever, and I'm just gonna say, man, like whatever's happening in the world, right, in the last week and a half, with like Charlie Kirk, right, and he's the guy that who's come from a family, he put out in the world good values, right, and he ended up getting too powerful. And I don't know what happened, okay? He passed on to the next universe. That's what we can say, right? Which is so sad. And I can't believe there are people out there. I'm getting riled up. And it riled me up in the first 4 days, right? And then I started to realize we can't let evil win, because that's what will happen to good people, right? Or just anyone in general. It is a spiritual war. We can't let the fucking evil win, man. Because it's going to take your soul. If you end up getting so much hatred, I just started to believe that maybe it's the devil is a trickster, man. He'll trick you, and there's so many people celebrating this. What are you celebrating for, man? He had good values, and he was really reaching the younger generations is what we need. The guy was born in my year. He was my age, maybe I'm 2 months older than Charlie Kirk, right? I'm 2 months older than him, and I really truly believe that he was doing good, man. I was listening to him a little bit, and I ended up finding out on him when he was doing these debates and stuff. I just can't believe this happened to him, and whether this guy did it or not, this guy wanted to do it. You know what I mean? There are people out there, right, that are so truly believe that are so powerful that can actually can actually frame things so well that I truly believe that they can put two worlds together. This guy wanted to do it, and fucking 19 of these other transvestites wanted to do it, right? And then on the other hand, maybe there's another group of people that actually did it. I don't know. And then they could easily frame. There are people that are so powerful that it can actually do that. You know what I mean? So we don't know what the hell happened, but all we know is a good man has passed on to the next universe. And it wasn't just a man. It wasn't just a guy, oh, what about the Trump shooter, the guy that passed away in the stands? Yeah, okay. Pray for him. Pray for that guy. But he didn't touch millions of people over the world, man. You know what I mean? So it's two different worlds. It's two different things you're talking about. There's someone that passes on to the next universe every minute of the day in the world, So pray for them too if you're going to pray for the guy in the stands at the fucking Trump rally. You know what I mean? We don't know that guy. I pray for everyone, man. And I'm not religious. But, at the end of the day, you have to put, we have to put positivity and love in the universe, as much as we want to rile up and I'm telling you right now, I was supposed to post this video, the full card picks, maybe this Monday. It was the Monday of this week or Tuesday or whatever. But, I've just been a little bit down, and just seeing how the world and it's really made me realize that it is good versus evil. It's truly a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual war, man. And don't let the evil manipulate and trick you into hate and anger and fear. You know what I mean? The next time you go to the shops, man, just just smile at people, man. And maybe if someone looks at you, say, hey, how you going? Just put that we need more of this. We need to teach the younger generations that it's okay. It's okay. We don't know why we are here in this life. Everyone's just born, man. We don't know. And if you're just going to be so patriotic on one side, and I'm not saying if you want to be so I can full get into it, man. Like, like so the people in one country flying a flag of another country, like, just enjoy this country for what it is and the freedoms and, anyway, but like, it's just so like, they're like instigating, just what are you instigating for? We're all in this life together, man. We all want to help, but the people that don't want to help have lost their soul, truly. And they're laughing at death and all this. Like, they don't want, like, they've lost their soul, man, but at the end of the day, like, I'm going to finish this video, but I'm going to put out a message, like a video to the world, or the 20 people that are watching, whatever. As long as, 30 people, that's still a classroom. Anyway, this is Punches and Profits, and this is the Perth UFC card predictions. Let's enjoy some combat sports, man. Controlled violence. This is what we need in the universe. When people like start, if we are saying yes on both sides and go, all right, let's do it, man to man. Nothing, just us, just our bodies going at it. You know what I mean? That's why I truly believe that combat sports will be the future of the sporting world. You know what I mean? It's going to overtake everything. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.